Grace Jones' Night Clubbing. Not exactly a raving track, but one that seemed apt for what we're going to discuss, because it's a book called Rave New World, which was basically documenting the rave culture, particularly of the 1990s, kind of 1989 to 1999, I guess, when this nation was raving like never before. And the man who's written the book, and he's written the book because he was there, is Kirk Field, who's here with us now. Kirk, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Robert.
Let's start with our sort of terminology. What do we mean by raving, and how was raving different from other forms of nightclubbing that had gone on before, if you like?
More freedom. Less rules, less regulations. You could wear what you wanted. There was no judgmental attitude going on. Everyone was the same. It was clubbing was very exclusive in London in the 80s. As you remember, you were part of it. Yeah,
absolutely.
And so all the shackles were off for raving. It didn't matter where what you earned, what you wore, who you wanted to sleep with. It didn't really matter. There's no judgment going on at all. And I think that raving is effectively like a unity together. A freedom, and it doesn't really matter where you are. It doesn't matter whether there's a roof over your head or whether it's an aircraft hangar or a farmer's field. I think it's more about shedding your inhibitions and expressing yourself.
In some senses, I thought at the time, and I still think now in retrospect, it was kind of harking back to the kind of hippie culture of the sort of late 60s, early 70s.
Very much so, yeah. There was an idealism there, wasn't there? I mean, it's not called the second Summer of Love for nothing. I mean, the first Summer of Love was 1967, and the second Summer of Love 88 and 89, where the book is set. That's when I got immersed into it as a barman, unsuspecting barman, selling Ribena and Lucasade, and I thought we were going to like a bar mitzvah or a posh person's wedding party or something, and it wasn't. It turned out to be a rave in an equestrian centre, and it all went from there.
Okay, so you got involved in it almost by accident, I guess. What was the appeal of it for you? And was it like one of those moments when a light bulb went on?
It was more like a laser went on, but I think at the time I was going through a down point. My band had split up. Everyone was in a band in the 80s, weren't they? And the band had split up. I was homeless, sleeping on sofas, mates' floors and that kind of thing. And really, I just saw a lot of positivity there, and it was very idealistic. And I think that, the euphoria and the idealism and the unity that I felt like I belonged, because I always felt in the 80s that it was quite exclusive and I didn't really fit into London in the club scene and things. Whereas this, I immediately got, and I just felt like I was part of it.
You can't talk about rave in that period of time without talking about the kind of chemical elements, because it was a big part of what was happening, wasn't it?
Absolutely, it was. I describe in the book, the effects of ecstasy was what we're talking about, isn't it? MDMA, and that was, many people got evangelical about that. A lot of people would introduce it to other people, and I think there was a real idealism there and a real sense of optimism that drug helped.
It's often, for example, been sort of said that it was what stopped football violence, because there were these blokes, who used to go and have a punch up of football matches on a Saturday, instead were taking ecstasy on a Friday night and hugging each other.
That's right. I mean, that's one of the things it did. I mean, there's a lot worse drugs out there than MDMA. I mean, obviously, all drugs have got to be, anything unlicensed is dangerous. But I think the ecstasy aspect of acid house or rave culture, it led to many positive stuff. It dissolved ego rather than alcohol or cocaine, which builds up ego.
What was when we talk about the music of rave? Again, there's sort of different styles and different periods. What was your thing?
Well, I like the Balearic thing. I like that everything in there. Chicago house, some indie, some high energy. That whole, some Detroit techno, the whole thing. I just liked it. Italo piano house was really my thing, because that was just, who'd have thought that the most important instrument in dance music would be the piano, not even a synthesizer or anything like that. Just a basic old Joanna plunking away there on the old floor to the floor beat, and it just works. It's just really infectious, and it's uplifting music.
Because for me, there was a real divide. I liked sort of soulful house, like the early stuff, the Joe Smooths and that kind of CC Rogers and that sort of stuff, Gabriel. When it became kind of very, very beats, computer-driven, hard techno, it completely lost me.
Yeah, that was more like 92, wasn't it, with Alternate and the Shaman and bands like that. I mean, I think the golden era for house is from 87 to 91. And, the book covers the that orbital summer. And the reason why I started writing it's called Confessions of a Raving Reporter, because I started writing for Mixmag.
Yeah.
And the reason why I started writing for Mixmag was because I saw all the lies and the hypocrisy that was written in the tabloids, and I wanted to counter that, and I wanted to talk about the good things that were happening.
Because it became a kind of a moral panic, as these things always do, don't they?
It does, and I cover that in my live show. I do a spoken word show, which I'm off to straight away. I'm doing at Western Supermare tonight, and that's been signed up for the Edinburgh Fringe. I'm doing
You won an award recently, didn't you?
Yeah, that's a spoken word book. That was there for my audiobook for the ARIA Awards. Yeah, and I got that, which was great. It's a silver award. Put a lot of effort into that. And also, I think it vindicates me by putting music in there, sound design in there. And a lot of people that are listening to that book contact me and say it really is like the nearest thing to a time machine. They really feel like they've gone back to the 90s. And I just thought it was going to be a niche book, but it's actually got quite widespread appeal now. Robbie Williams sent me a video saying he's loving it, and all the top DJs, as you would expect, enjoy it. But what's more important to me, Robert, is when people I've never met get in touch with me and say, like, I just feel like I'm 19 or 21 again. I feel like it's 1991 again. And I think the reason why people want to go back to the 90s is because, as much as though we thought we were being naughty and doing things we shouldn't have been doing, really looking back on it, compared with what's come since with 9/11 and the pandemics and wars and everything, it was an era of innocence and simplicity.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was also when you were young that everyone looks back on when they were young as a golden era, and it was a young person's thing?
No, not really. I mean, that's the thing about the tabloids. He said that. I mean, one week they said that children as young as 14 were dancing to this alien music. Then the next week it'd be children as young as 13 were writhing, and then it'd go children as young as 12. And so we worked out that by Christmas of 1989 there'd be embryos going to the raves.
But what about older people? Were there many of them?
Yeah, there were. I mean, the point I'm making is that in order to get to those raves in those days, you either needed a pager, a telephone, quite a lot of money because it's 25 quid a ticket and £15 for anything else you wanted to partake in. And so the average age at those raves was maybe late 20s. It wasn't even early 20s or teenagers.
What has it ended? Why did it end? What happened?
Well, obviously the government clamped down on it with the Graham Bright Bill and then the Criminal Justice Act of 1994. So there was legislation there. It moved into the clubs, which is what we wanted. All we wanted, we didn't want to dance in farmers' fields and aircraft hangars without any decent sanitary facilities. We wanted to be able to dance through the night like they do on the continent. And Westminster City Council wouldn't let anybody dance. And at 3 o'clock, they wanted to send us all home to bed. So we campaigned. The Freedom to Dance movement campaigned for longer licensing hours. Westminster City Council heard it. We started working with the councils, and I started working with an organisation called Rain Dance, which is the first legal rave organisation, and we did fully licensed parties, working with the police, the paramedics, and the council and local authorities to create a template for licensed things, because there was clearly a demand for it. And so really it moved into the clubs, and like everything else, it became more corporate
and more commercialised. I guess. I mean, having said that, it wasn't about egos. Do you touch on the kind of concept of the superstar DJ? Because it certainly became about egos when you had people flying around in helicopters and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I tell a great story in the book about, but it wasn't to illustrate this. The fact that it wasn't about the DJs is that on New Year's Eve 1989, I was in the Panasonic warehouse and I was writing for Mixmag at the time, and I did the first interviews in print with national interviews in print with KLF and the Orb, the Grid, people like that. So I prided myself on being first. So this DJ was really nailing it, absolutely slaying every mix. I said to my friend, "Who's this DJ?" She turned around to me and said, "Oh, it's DJ Roof Rack." I went, "Blind Roof Rack? I've never heard of him." So I went up to the trestle table, which is all that was in. There wasn't a stage in those days, just a trestle table. And I went and I said, I said to the guy, "I want to speak to Roof Rack. I want to do an interview with him." He said, "Who?" I said, "DJ Roof Rack, the guy that's just been playing." He said, "That's Groove Rider." It was really difficult to hear because obviously it's an unlicensed party, so there's no sound limit. So, that could have nearly gone very, very wrong.
But the whole DJ, this sort of superstar DJ thing, did kind of, for me again, that was something that I wasn't. What this is ego gone mad. And money gone mad. People being paid, vast sums.
Yeah, I agree. But what's interesting about the book is that after the first 4 or 5 chapters, I then start following the rave scene as it exploded overseas. Yeah. So Mixmag sent me to Russia, to Croatia, to Tunisia, to a little island called Ibiza, where we last met. And so I sort of witnessed that shockwave go across the globe. And that was still at the stage where locally there wasn't any superstar DJs. So it was still quite homegrown and emerging talent.
Is there anything like that out there today? I mean, we're both too old to know, really, I suppose.
You know, if there is, I don't think it's right that we know. I think we should be sedate and not know what the kids are up to. Just like our mums and dads didn't know what we were up to.
Well, if you want to know what people were up to between sort of 1989 and 1999, the book is called Rave New World, and it's by Kirk, who certainly knew. Kirk, thank you very, very much. And I'm going to play this.
Oh yeah.
Joe Smooth in The Promised Land, which has always been just about my favourite ever house track, I reckon, that one. I think the show's going splendidly today. We got some excellent stuff still to come, and we've done some excellent things so far.